Let's go. Wow. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another edition of HCW Show Squared. This is episode 33. Of course, this is the show where we take the usual formula of the defunct podcast and multiply it to the power of, you guessed it, 2. I'm your host, as always, Dan, DP, or as we all say nowadays, DPZ, yeah. And I am joined, at last, he's back, after taking a very sus break from action. Is of course Mr. Impact Craig. Welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Hello. You know me. It's that MIC. Yeah, good to finally be back. Yeah, it's like this thing's happening, but we're back and back just in time for obviously NXT. And Stand and Deliver coming up, so excited to talk some wrestling again. Let's do this.
Indeed, let's do this. Let's talk the wrestle. Let's talk the wrestles and the wrestling and the NXTs. So these are this is the review for NXT on the 26th of March. So that was a few days ago. As of recording, I was going to do weekly. We kick things off with the North American Championship qualification match. So the winner of this would go into the North American title match, Stand and Deliver, between Dijak and Shawn Spears. Of course, this is the battle of NXT originals. We see Dominic Dijakovic, remember that name, and Ty Dillinger. Of course, the old tens. It's a very good match. Dijak wins with the Feast Your Eyes, handing Spears his first loss in NXT after a month of returning. I rated 2 of the quarter stars. I've got for these ones here. I've already rated 2.5. This was peculiar because for the most part I enjoyed the match, but to me, Shawn Spears was always a mid-card kind of guy who wrestled in a way that wasn't really that interesting. It was safe, but it was still like Miz in that regard. It was very... He can wrestle, but he wrestles in a very safe way. And then you have someone like Dijak, who almost always has a great match. There was some Joe Gacy involvement as well, as he took Shawn's chair in the middle of the match, which played an effect, I guess. Gacy also appeared after the match to play the guitar on the chair. Cool. There's a fine line between comedy and awkward, and for me, Gacy here sort of blurred that line. If it was just sort of him taking the chair, that would have been fine. I didn't need the goofiness of him playing it afterwards on the announce table. But in overall, the match itself was good. It wasn't stand out or anything, but it was good.
Yeah, I agree. A solid match. I kind of liked Dijak playing the good guy a little bit. It's not something you see a lot. Doing so a bit, yeah, obviously, because Spears was just obviously Spears is Spears, but I thought they paced it really well. I thought, but yeah, the right man won because Spears obviously will get in more in depth about the North American title scene in a little bit, but yeah. I thought it was a very, very, very solid match to get where it needed to be. It was good for where it had to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get more into it later. But obviously, imagine overfeming against Shawn Spears.
Yeah, exactly.
So up next, we got a vignette promo thingy with Roxanne Perez. She berates her former self. She's now looking out for herself, not expecting anyone, say anything from anyone, and looks to make a name for herself by being herself and doing what she wants to do in her own way. And comes down to deliver, she'll take the title that she never lost in the first place. It was fine. It just felt kind of pointless. I don't get what it was or what place it had in the build. I said before Roxanne didn't need to turn heel. You were here when I said I didn't need to turn heel. She was fine being an anti-hero of sorts, like just doing things her own way, but not breaking the rules, because you could be ruthless in wrestling without breaking the rules. She feels cheated by the system and doesn't care about what she has to do now to get back what is in her mind rightfully hers. But now as a heel, she needs justification to be that heel and to hate the world and I hate you, and it's not there with Roxanne. I can't see a reason as to why she's here. Like, she'll have a good match with Lyra, and I know Lyra needs a big bad for the pay-per-view. But I don't know what else there is really besides her being a face again if she beats Lyra. Like, it's a really odd corner they've put themselves here. I don't know what your thoughts are, but that's mine.
Yeah, I haven't enjoyed Roxanne as a heel. Which is unfortunate because she is good, but like, I think, we've mentioned it a few times, but I think she's trying to be too much like AJ Lee with these promos she's cutting, and I'm not into it. And also, I could have sworn even though she lost in the ladder match, she keeps mentioning that the title was taken from her. But didn't she walk into Stand and Deliver last year, announced as champion?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so she did lose. The title wasn't taken from her. Like, I don't get. I'm not enjoying it. I'm really not.
I think she refers more to that time when she was champion. She was injured, and then she had to vacate the title then.
Okay, that would make more sense, but
I know what you mean with the whole other thing, but
yeah, it's unfortunate that I'm not enjoying it because it just doesn't work for me.
yeah, Roxanne's one of the better performers on that division as well. It's just she needs to not be a heel. Like as I said before, being a heel, you need a reasoning for it, and there's no real reasoning for her being a heel. Like, there's others you make a good reason for. Like, Roxanne's not one of them. She's one of the ones who's essentially been like hand fed for opportunities in NXT. Like, she's always been like sort of up there, like from her debut. Like, so it's hard to explain her heel thing right now, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, to wait and see how this plays out.
Precisely. So we move on backstage. We get Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. They're preparing for an audition of sorts by singing Taylor Swift songs. They disagree over Anti-Hero and Cruel Summer. Meanwhile, the actual stars of the show, Idris Enofe and Manic Blade with Brindley Reese are preparing. And by preparing, I mean she's doing push-ups on their shoulders. Outside of the door comes Andre Chase, who says he's done pretty well. He thinks he's nailed it. And he walks off as the intern or whatever calls for the next people. It comes Metaphor, who go through a door that reads Stand and Deliver hosts casting call. So they're all preparing to be the hosts for Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, cool. Just on the Taylor Swift thing, Anti-Hero is a banger. I'll give her that.
That is fair. I prefer Cool Summer, personally. But also, it's a banging Banana Rubber song. Cool Summer. Moving on, we have the next match of the night, which has seen Thea Hale and Jasmine Nix. If you've not heard Jasmine Nix, that is completely understandable, and she's not had a match on TV. This is her very first match on TV. Thea wins with the Kimura lock submission. Afterwards, she snaps Jasmine's arm in two. I rated it 1 3/4. Frozzy rated it 1.5. It's the same problem with NXT every time. We get sub 5-minute matches when you could use the time to showcase your talent and use them properly. And I get it served more as a vehicle to move towards the eventual Thea JC match. But there was more that could have been done here, in my opinion. And to give props to Jasmine, she wasn't bad. Not bad at all. I was very surprised by that. Like, a lot of newbies who come through, you can see they're quite green or rough around the edges. Jasmine's quite polished in regards to how she's in the ring. Like, it's not. I don't see any bad side to her right now. Give it time. Obviously, she might break off from JC and become a solo act, and then we might start seeing some more breakaway. But right now, good stuff. Her first TV match, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was just a short match, as it always is with these things. And yeah, I was a huge fan of it, of the match in general.
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. It the timings in NXT it does slightly bug me because there's but it's a case with the WWE product in general where it's a lot of backstage stuff or a lot of advertising, so you miss majority of the match. If it's anything over 10 minutes, you just they put an advert in the middle of it, and it's a bit irritating. But no, I agree. Jasmine Nix looked very, very, very good in this one. But I'm obviously afterwards. Do you think it will be a straight one-on-one match between Thea and JC, or will it be a six-woman tag? That's
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going with this one.
I am assuming they're going to go through the whole 6-person tag thing. Because afterwards, obviously, as we know, Kyle Jade comes out with Izzy Dame, then they attack with JC on Thea, and then in comes Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan who make the save. This to me is not a stand and deliver match. It's a NXT TV match following stand and deliver or before stand and deliver. Like, and I think you do the 6-person here, and then you have your interactions between Thea and JC.
Yeah.
Because put Thea and JC in a one-on-one match, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I really, really want it to be good, but
I don't think it will be, because like it was always something that I thought back then when they were a trio. Toxic Attraction, JC was the weak part of that team.
yeah,
And I still feel like that now with others. It's just like Gigi has risen her stock. Mandy's obviously doing her own thing now, but JC is sort of still stuck. Like, I don't know if it's character related or if it's her training, or I don't know entirely what it is, but it's just I'm not seeing any real improvement from her.
no, I'm with you on that. It's yeah, like I say now, the toxic members of toxic attraction are doing their own thing. Mandy Rose is making millions, and Gigi is getting more character work. But yeah, JC is just she's like the mean girl, and that's about all they're giving her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just a weird thing right now, and yeah, I wish her the best, but she needs to probably put in some more work.
Yeah.
Moving on though, from disappointing to promising. Lola Rice comes out next. She's got an open challenge that she put out on Twitter, basically saying, "No one can handle me. I'm that Spanish word," she says, and I'm gonna challenge anyone in the back who thinks they can beat me. So she comes out, says she cuts a promo for some reason, saying no one can handle her. She's the complete package, and her answers better be ready to get put to sleep. Cue the answer. It's Bret Hart. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not. No, it's Natalia. It's always a. For some reason, even though it's a women's match coming up, I'm always like, it's Bret. Because that fucking starting bit of the music.
Yeah, guitar riff, yeah.
But no, it's Natalia. She talks about her. Actually, she sees a lot of potential in Lola and how her ego is risen, and that she'll think someone needs to put Lola in her place, and Natalia will be that someone. So we go on to this match. It's Lola Vice and Natalia. What are your thoughts before the match, as to Natalia being the one to answer this open challenge?
I didn't mind it. Uh, Obviously, NXT more recently have been using people from the main roster to come down and develop and whatever. And I didn't mind Natalia accepting this one. It's a recognizable name, not really doing an awful lot on the main roster, which seems to be the case. Which seems to be always be the case with Natalia, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But no, I'm into it. I thought it's I thought it was a genuine surprise, and I think if Natalia sticks around for a little bit, this could really help Lola.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, because like it's that same thing that we come back to. It's like after Stand and Deliver, who are your main women in that division to go for the title? You've got Lyra, you've got Roxanne, maybe Blair. Other than them three, I can't think of anyone else who is up there.
No.
Like it might be like obviously like there's Fallon Henley, Connie Jordan, but they're not up there right yet. Like same with like Kiana James, she's not up there just yet. Like Natalia could be a good thing for them because she's not doing much on the main roster anyway. So in a similar vein to Becky Lynch, except Becky Lynch is needed elsewhere. Natalia's not really needed elsewhere, so she can hang out a bit longer.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember? I can't remember who it was with now, but do you remember Dana Brooke was coaching someone on NXT?
Vaguely, yeah.
I can't remember who it was on top of my head. I think it might be Kalani. I don't entirely recall.
I think it was, yes, yeah.
But in a similar sort of vein to that, maybe like Natalia could like coach Lola Vice on how to be more because they're both submission wrestlers as well. So
Yeah.
it'd be a good fit, even though like there's quite a contrast in their characters. But other than that, I think Natalia is a good addition to the roster if she is going to be sticking around in the next day. She's got that. She's got the years of experience and the veteran edge that most of the women don't. So.
And Natalia is a very good trainer.
Precisely, yeah, precisely.
You can only benefit, I think.
But the match itself, Natalia wins with a sharpshooter for the submission win. I rated it 3 stars. My phone's gone off. Wait a minute. Here we go. Frozzy actually rated the match 1 3/4. So there you go. This was maybe to me Lola's best match today. Which is probably to no one's surprise because Natalia is just generally one of the better wrestlers in the women's division of all of the WWE. Like, Lola continues to have a ceiling that she can reach. I don't see a downside of Lola right now, but that can change in a few weeks. That's just the way things happen in NXT and WWE in general. I can see Lola being a key player in the next couple of years. Not right now, but the next couple of years from now, I'd say she could be a world champion, like in NXT, like NXT Women's Champion. Ultimately, the match, it will feel like a minor development, like a minor side sort of thing here, which is fine because you need side stories to build anyway. But again, not standard ever worthy.
No, but if Natalia does stick around, then like I said, it surely can only benefit. And I agree that Lola has a lot of potential, and if she can really hone in on her character, yeah, I can picture her picking up that NXT Women's Championship for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. So speaking like Roxanne went from Lyra, fused Natalia for a bit.
Maybe, or I think if because if Natalia can feud for that women's title, then I like it because, like I said, there's not a lot of challenges that immediately jump out at you after Stand and Deliver. Like they haven't done a lot to build anyone else up,
Mm-hmm.
and Natalia can just, with her pedigree, she can just jump right in and be a credible challenger.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I agree with that. Yeah. So moving on. Sean Spears is angry that Joe Gacy took his chair. So instead of confronting Joe Gacy, he goes to do an interview outside. Uh, he says an interview outside in the parking lot. But luckily for him, Joe Gacy's on the roof, and he throws the chair down and says, "Oh, I almost hit you. Sorry." And then the chair's just there, and suddenly Over's there. And then the camera pans to Oba like he wasn't there, like he weren't there before. And then Joe Casey's like, "Oh, Oba, you're here too. Sorry, I almost hit you. My bad."
Oh, I love Joe Gacy. Like just give the man all the belts. Just give them. Give it to him.
it
Just for
was
that alone.
it was funny because obviously in my notes earlier I wrote that I wasn't sure about the comedy and awkwardness of this. Like that was perfect. That was great comedy. Um,
Yeah.
So moving on from that, we have Challenge Stax Lorenzo, the underboss for Tony D'Angelo, taking on Ilya Dragunov. Ilya wins with the Torpedo Moscow. I rated it 2.25 stars. Fuzzy rated it 2.5. This was a solid match purely because it was Ilya. I don't rate Stax that much. He's all right. He's just not that good. Ilya's one of those generational guys that come along every so often. He's just so good, it's ridiculous. Obviously, there was a lot of selling early on in this match from his hand. His hand was like this. Yeah, which he then forgot about the other moves. It was weird because like, his hand's doing this, and it's like as he's like throwing punches or getting thrown somewhere else, and then suddenly, oh, it's back. um, but yeah, Ilya wins, and so with Torpedo Moscow, it moves him on to the PLE of Tony. But instead of a match that was like less than a minute, which it probably should have been, it was over 5 minutes. Where Stax actually he threw it on the fence, but interestingly, he didn't try a pin on Ilya at any point. As in wrestling, obviously, you get a lot of hip toss, pin, one, kick out, like that sort of stuff. Because the goal of the match was Channing wasn't trying to win; he was trying to weaken Ilya, so he knew full well he was a sacrificial lamb for Tony. Like he knew full well going into it that his goal was to weaken Ilya, not to beat Ilya.
Yeah.
Which is something that I think a lot of people sort of slept on or sort of missed because we're so involved in that people need to win matches to because that's the wrestling business. You go in a match, you win or try to win. Sorry, and it's different. It's just because obviously, as I said, that he knew he wasn't going to try and win this match. He knew he was just going to try and injure or weaken Ilya for Tony, which I thought was an interesting aspect of the match. Overall, though, decent match, just not done correctly.
Yeah, I mean, Stax was given his orders by the Don, and he followed through those orders.
Mm-hmm.
I
Absolutely.
mean, yeah, Ilya's hand was just, yeah, it's like a misshapen claw. It was like I've seen some weird stuff like in wrestling over the years, but like it does kind of frustrate me when they forget about it sometimes. But I can understand if it's some other stuff they're trying to get to, and they just
Uh-huh.
forget that they're supposed to be hurt in some way. But it was what it was. He kept it up backstage afterwards, obviously. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
a decent match.
yeah,
What again for
absolutely.
what it needed to be, which seems to be the case with NXT. If they need to get somewhere, and they can do that well. If sometimes some stuff gets overlooked, then you just have to try and get back on track at some point. But to do what you have to do I'm okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you noticed, but when he does his corner thing, like the on Basiba, his hand is like that already. He's like un ba.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was alright. Backstage, the Wolf Dogs are talking about fake tans and tanning beds. Bron's got a bottle of fake tan for Baron, which is labeled as the Sun. Uh, in comes the Good Brothers, who just won a standard 2-on-2 match, stand and deliver, because they are weak men. Which the Wolf Dogs also want, because they are also weak men. Chase you. But yeah, that was all that was to that, really. So, cool, I guess. They just say, like, oh, do your job, we'll do ours. And that will ensure the one-on-one tag match. Then we get an
Yeah.
in-ring... Oh, sorry, go on. No? Okay.
Nah.
Then we go...
It happened.
yeah. Then we got an in-ring promo with Ridge Holland. He thanks everyone who helped him get to where he is, and he says that he cannot risk hurting himself or hurting someone else again. Shut up, Biggie. Ridge is aware of what people have been saying about him, and he's tired of taking his work home with him. He's had some difficult conversations in the past, and has had the decision that he's indefinitely stepping away from the in-ring competition. This actually gets some clapping and cheers from the crowd.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm officially stepping away, and people are like, yeah, woo! And it's someone says something like, there's like one guy in the crowd. He says something like, "Don't come back." It was something like that. He said he just shouted it, and it was like, dude, come on.
Mate.
So with that, Ridge is officially retiring, stepping away. I don't know what the right term is for it. I have no idea how legit this is, but if it is true, Ridge, if you are watching this, thank you for your service. It's unfortunate some of the stuff that you've been involved with in regards to the wrestling, but ultimately, if this is it for him, then thank you.
I mean, I've read a lot of different things, and they all seem to contradict each other.
Yeah.
The general consensus seems to be that it is just a work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It has been removed from the roster at the same time. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Just that promo, man, like everything about it. It reminded me a little bit, not the same quality, but not the same standard, but when Kurt Angle announced that Jason Jordan wouldn't be at WrestleMania and people cheered.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, if it's real or if it's not, like, cheering and saying don't come back is a bit too far. Yeah, he hasn't got the best track record, but I mean, as far as I'm aware, he wasn't wrestling before he came to WWE.
Yeah, exactly. He's
Like,
a rugby guy. Like,
yeah, when he first came into NXT, I liked the look, even though he was going for a Peaky Blinder vibe.
Mm-hmm. I love that, by the way. I love I love the whole like, the thing in the beret and the little like Billy Club thing. Like, I love
yeah, I did like it, but yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate that Big E and Elton Prince, all in the space of a few months.
Yeah,
not the best track record, but if he is taking time off, then the Performance Center is right there.
absolutely. Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know what much more I can say. Really, it's the case. It's just an unfortunate case of his career. He's injured himself. He's injured others, which unfortunately comes with the business. It's just a matter of how you do things and how you take things and how you deliver things. It happens. Yeah. Ultimately, no one, as far as I know, anyway, no one holds any like grudges towards him because it's wrestling. It happens. You go into it, you might get injured. It's how it happens. So ultimately, while I'm not a fan of Ridge's in-ring work, he can cut a good promo,
Yeah.
and part of me thinks if it is legit, it's legitimate because I know if I was in his shoes and I'm reading the internet comments about this guy injured this guy or this guy injured this guy, get him off TV, boo this guy, whatever. I know I'd be going home with that in my head, which
Oh
is something
yeah.
that he mentions.
Like it's social media. I've said off air. It's just a cesspit of
Hmm.
hate now. Like
Yeah,
it has been for a while, but it's just gotten worse, and it's particularly in wrestling when if you're throwing someone around, there's a good chance they're going to get hurt. Let's
yeah,
be very real about that. It's unfortunate that it's happened, but it's not like he's intentionally trying to hurt someone.
no, plastic.
Like he's not shooting. He's just trying to put on a good match. But it just happens, and yeah, if you're being told that, like by people who've never stepped in a ring in their life, that you're unsafe, you're doing this, doing that, it's of course it's gonna get to you. If it is legit, then like it's I really hope he spends a lot of time in the performance center and just proves that he can you know do this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the good redemption story for him as well. Like, it's sort of come back from potentially causing these injuries and being an a labeled unsafe worker.
Yeah.
To came back being like the safest worker going, and being like the guy who never injures himself or never injures someone else, or like it'd be amazing if he came back and he was just an amazing wrestler. Because I think the potential's there. He's a bigger guy. Like he can have a good match with someone like a Dijak or a Josh Briggs or something. So there's anything like that, like someone who's big in wrestling, like a host match sort of thing.
Yeah.
I can see him doing that absolutely.
Yeah, if just exactly just going in, just just batter someone. Like you don't need to be throwing them around. Like just batter them.
Yeah. But yeah, move on. We move on now to the other North American Territory qualification match between Duke Hudson and Josh Briggs. So Josh Briggs wins here with a lariat slash clothesline from hell. Not sure what he calls it entirely. I believe it's JBL inspired, so it's probably a clothesline from hell. I rated this 3 stars. Frozzy rated this 2 stars. This was, for me, a good match. It's always fun to see Duke Hudson in a match, and seeing Josh Briggs in a different light nowadays has improved his stock. He's not just this tag guy anymore. Like he's not just this supporting act. Like, he's getting up there. It was kind of obvious that he was going to win. He was going to win this match, because we got that confrontation last week between him, Oba, and Dijak. However, it didn't tarnish the match for me. I enjoyed it. I look forward to the freeway. That's Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, just big meaty men slapping meat. That's
What more do you need?
exactly. See Hudson went into this as the underdog really, but when you hit that hard, you're gonna win, and Briggs just hit harder.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. And like in another reality, the match is Oba Femi, Sean Spears, and Duke Hudson, which is it's not exactly an exciting match.
No.
But no. After the match, we get another confrontation. That's Oba Femi basically just confirms the match, saying I'll see both but Stand and Deliver. I think the match has got potential to be a big match. I think not literally because of the big men in it. I mean, because like a good match.
Yeah.
I am not holding out hope. Like, I'm sure it'll be good, just not exceptional.
Yeah, I mean, with it, realistically, all they need to do is just hit each other.
Yeah.
Just you don't need to be, lock up, submission, or Irish whips, all that stuff. Just hit each other and
Yeah,
like,
precisely.
and
Like,
it should like
we've already got our matches as well at Stand and Deliver with Trick and Carmelo, Lyra, Roxanne. Like, it has got to be a grappling masterpiece, you know?
exactly. Like they just hit hard and like big moves, but nothing that's gonna like I say you know no ground game or whatever. Just try and hit each other as hard as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, but yeah, we move on from there, and it's officially declared that Meta 4 will be the hosts of Stand and Deliver, and I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Uh,
A lot of
I,
fun.
I wrote in my notes, exceptional choice for hosting duties. I legitimately can't think of someone else who'd be better for it. Like they've got just that chaotic factor between the four of them. It's perfect for me. I am thoroughly pleased with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a banger.
But now we go into the main event of the night, which is it's the NXT Tag Team Title qualification match. So if Alpha Academy win, they get added to the match Stand and Deliver. So we have the Wolf Dogs, Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker, taking on Alpha Academy, Otis and Akira Tozawa. The Wolf Dogs win after they take out Otis on the announce table, and Akira is laid out with a spear by Bron. I rated this 3.25. Fozzy rated it 3. This was my match of the night. It was really good. I enjoyed it. It was a great way to end the show. Obviously, there's a lot of back and forth in the match. There's the phenomenal, Spanish fly counter by Bron from the electric chair position. Insane, just match all round. It's a great way to end the TV show, and afterwards, the other three teams that they're potentially facing come out for a stare down, and a brawl to end the show. So, what are your thoughts on the main event?
The perfect match to main event.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, Bron Breaker's spear. Just honestly, it's brutal. Like it may be my favorite spear in wrestling right now.
Yeah.
It was just it felt like he was legitimately going to cut through Tozawa.
Yeah.
Like this, and then that also the double power bomb to the announce table. Like it, it was just of a lot of just a good match.
Yeah.
Would have minded to see Alpha Academy win, but I understand why they didn't. I liked it. It was a lot of fun, and I'm intrigued to see what happens in a tag title picture for Stand and Deliver.
Yeah. I think
Even
we
though
all
it's,
know.
of course, it's,
Yeah. I think we all know where it's going with that, but. But yeah, that was the end of NXT. Before we officially call it an end, I should have prepared this before, but I forgot to.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me. Damn fuckers.
So a quick look at Stand and Deliver and the matches that have been announced / speculated. So kick things off with the match that I was going to kick things off with. The dual threat match for the NXT North American title. Overemy, Dijak and Josh Briggs. What are we thinking?
I think Oba retains. I I don't really see either Briggs or Dijak winning it. I think if it was going to go another way, I think Dijak is the favourite, but I think Oba retains. I'm not sure what happens after that, but I think it should just be three men hitting the living daylights out of each other, with Oba picking up the win, potentially pinning Briggs.
Yeah, I think I'm putting on board with that. I think Oba retains. Dodger's a close second to win it, but Oba's too fresh in his reign to lose it right now. Josh Briggs is sort of the third player in this. It's sort of just, he's going to be there, but he's probably going to take the pin.
Yeah.
It's a shame because they're both good wrestlers. It's just Oba's too fresh in the reign right now to lose it, and I don't see a world in that he loses it right now. But hey,
No.
I'm happy to be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it could always, if Oba does end up pinning Briggs, then Dijak has a genuine gripe of not being pinned and challenging in a one-on-one match. And then maybe Dijak wins. But at Stand and Deliver, I think Oba retains.
Yeah, I agree. Then we go on to the NXT Tag Team titles. So Wolf Dogs, Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker. Champions defend against the winners of the tournament, which will be either the LWO, which is Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, or the OC, which is Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. So I think we're all in agreement that it's going to be the OC that win this. In regards to the match itself, that's where it gets a bit tricky.
Yeah.
Because I famously do not like the OC. I think they're quite boring. In WWE, that is anyway. Like, obviously in TNA and their indie stuff where they talk shop mania, which is quite fun. In WWE, they're just kind of there. They don't have a presence to me. I want Breakker Corbin to win personally, and I think, I don't know. I think they will win. I think they will, and then they'll lose titles down the line, but not here. I don't think the OC win them here.
See, I honestly don't know, because I know Breaker's been on SmackDown a couple of times, but at some point he needs to go up there full time. And typically, like, the last NXT show before Mania is where the new stars have their last match and go up to the main roster on the Raw after Mania.
Yeah.
I think the OC will win, and maybe it's just more wanting them to win, but it is a genuinely tough call, because there's a lot of factors at play in this match. It's not just Braun and going up to SmackDown. You also got, how long are the OC going to be on NXT for? What's the plan if Braun goes up? What's next for Corbin? Like, there's more than one thing at play other than the tag titles on the line here.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with the OC, because whilst they were in TNA, every time they defended or were challenging for the tag titles, I predicted them winning, and I've never been wrong about the OC winning tag titles. So I'm gonna go with the OC as the new NXT Tag Team Champions.
I sincerely hope for everyone watching and for NXT's sake that you are wrong. Because that is a way to ruin your tag division. So, we've saved the last three matches here because I think they're the more significant matches. The first two, while one is not really predictable than the other, they're not that important in the grand scheme of things. These other three matches are quite important, I'd argue. So we'll kick things off with arguably the most predictable of the three. Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. What are you thinking, Greg?
Mate, it's got to be Trick. Like, it has to be Trick. Otherwise, I don't know what's going on. If because they've built up this feud, I think it has to be Trick. It just has to be. If not, then what's even the point? Like Mello is Mello. He's a star no matter what.
Yeah.
This can Trick's about to cross that line, and this is a win against Mello here. The night the a few hours before the biggest WrestleMania ever. I think Trick has to win this one, so I'm gonna say Trick.
That is absolutely fair. I am fully in agreement. Yeah, I think this is Trick's time. For this match, it's very make or break for Trick Williams. The whole story has been leading to the eventual turn from one of them on the other. It was Carmelo turning on Trick. Trick has to get revenge. He has to get his vengeance here. So ultimately, if he loses, what do you do then? Because if he loses here, what's next for Carmelo? What's next for Trick? You can't really answer the question. If Trick wins, Carmelo goes on to SmackDown or Raw, wherever he goes. I think SmackDown actually, and Trick can go on to the world title, which is where it's been leading to for months. So yeah, I'm in agreement. I think Trick Williams wins, and besides that, it's going to be a hell of a match.
This has potential to be match of the weekend.
Yeah.
Realistically, it does, because there's so much involved in it. With I love a good tag team breakup feud, and this has potential to be up there with one of the best.
Precisely, yeah. I mean, look at the past ones we had. We had obviously the Rockers, Sean and Marty. You had the Hardys, Matt and Jeff. You had.
Yeah, I mean, my personal favorite is Beer Money.
Beer Money, another one, yeah. You've got Enzo and Cass.
The potential of that.
Sorry, Real One and Big Bill. But no, I agree. But yeah, Trick Williams is why I'm leaning to for that match. Moving on now to the semi-main, I'm assuming. For the NXT Women's title, Lyra Valkyria against Roxanne Perez. I'm personally leaning towards Roxanne winning, sorry. And I think down the line they're going to come back to it. I think Lyra's going to fully recover from her injuries and come back to have that comeback feud with her. But for now, I think Roxanne's going to prey on that weakness for Lyra, and I think she's going to take advantage of it and just win the title that way and just be ruthless and doesn't care. I know that's short and succinct, what I'm saying, but I think it's just I can't see another way out for this for Lyra, really. So I think Roxanne wins.
No, I'm completely on board with that. I think Roxanne does win, because then, as mentioned before, with the North American title, Lyra has a gripe of, I wasn't 100%. I want my rematch when I'm 100%. Which then, if Lyra takes some time off, then, as we mentioned earlier in the show, that Natalya can slot in as a contender. So I think Roxanne becomes new NXT Women's Champion, and Lara takes a little bit of time off.
Yeah, absolutely valid. Yeah, I think I agree. Yeah, I don't see another one that don't happen. So now we move on to the main event of the show. I'm assuming, which is a very weird order of things, but the main event is actually also some other most unpredictable match on the card, which is really weird to say. the NXT Championship, so the world title, champion Ilya Dragunov defends against the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah.
I personally, oh, sorry, no, I'll let Ilya say because I did the last one.
I've got this feeling Tony might win. Everything leading up to it, the way everything about this match should lead to Ilya retaining and then going on to face Trick.
Yeah.
But something's going through my mind that maybe they would put a surprise out and Tony wins. But is that really the way to end, the biggest show of the year? The biggest stand and deliver ever is Tony D'Angelo holding that NXT championship. The closing image as you want. Well, if I'm going for a prediction, I'm going to say Ilya. But it's like, no, pure prediction. I'm saying Ilya, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tony wins.
That is absolutely fair. I am still undecided on what way I'm leaning towards this. To me, this is an underwhelming match. This is an underwhelming main event. This is an underwhelming pay-per-view ender. I just don't see it with Tony D'Angelo. He's all right. I don't see the star appeal with him. Ilya has the look. He has like the accent. He has the speech. Everything about him and his character is like that of a foreign star. Like, he's insanely good in the ring. His talking is really good. His character is good. The Mad Dragon, like, he gets incensed upon like getting hit once by someone randomly. Like, it's so good. And Tony's like, hey, I'm the done. It's not the same. Like, saying it though, I can also see a world in which Tony doesn't win this match because honestly, what more can you do with Ilya? And should Trick win? Does Trick face Ilya and beat Ilya, or does Trick face Tony? And I think Trick is more likely to overcome a heel like Tony than Ilya. But obviously, the story's there with Ilya as well that he couldn't beat him the first time and.
Yeah.
But I'm throwing out a curveball because everyone has the idea that Cody and Roman is going to end a certain way, or Seth and Drew is going to end a certain way. What if? And it's very, I don't know, very curveball. I think, very swervy. What if Ilya beats Tony? And then Damian Priest cashes in on Ilya.
Oh.
You throw in that dynamic of Damian Priest, who is an NXT guy.
Yeah.
Originally. Who never won the main title in NXT. He was, I think he might be a North American champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But decent North American champion as well.
He comes back to NXT, beats the Mad Dragon, becomes the NXT champion, the title that he never held in NXT. And then he could feud with Trick, or with Tony, or even Ilya again. I think if you added someone like Damian Priest, you add a few. You had more options in that main event scene.
You know what? I wouldn't be against it because, truthfully, I can't imagine Priest becoming world heavyweight champion. I don't see him cashing in on. He's not going to cash in on Roman or Cody because it's just not going to happen. again, I can't see him cash. I can see the potential of a cash in on Seth or Drew, but I don't see him winning it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the NXT title is the way to go. I'm liking that. I don't know if I necessarily see it happening, but I think to win a world title, if you like, the NXT title could be the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea.
I think if you lean back more in towards what I said at the beginning of this match breakdown, in that it's quite underwhelming in terms of main event. One way to warm it up would be to have Damian Priest cash in the contract to beat Ilya. And
Yeah.
I feel it's very Triple H booking as well. I feel because everyone's so convinced he's cashing in at WrestleMania. Yeah. That what if he cashed in the night before WrestleMania?
I could see that working because, like I said, I don't. He's not. He can get the cashing as Roman. He can just ignore that completely because it won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I think they're gonna want to do Seth versus Punk for the world title whenever Punk's fit.
Yeah.
So I can see Priest cashing in, but he won't win it.
Yeah. It's I think with Seth and Drew, it's a weird scenario. I think Drew's got to have his moment in front of fans, which is absolutely valid because he didn't have it like 4 years ago. He needs to have that moment in front of the fans at Mania. Cody, there's the argument that can be made for Cody. When Cody beats Roman, he has his moment. The story's been completed. He's finished his story. Damien cashes in, spoils the story. Like, it becomes the biggest heel going. Damian Priest. But
I just don't know if I could get invested in that.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way because I think that would lead more to a break off in Judgment Day, which I don't want.
Which it seemed to be teasing last night at SmackDown.
Yeah.
Friday on SmackDown.
So yeah,
I'd be into it if it happened. Yeah, let's. I'm into it.
Yeah, it's just because literally I can't look at that main event and be like, oh, that's a PLE main event right there. Like, I look at that and I'm like, that's a TV match main event.
Yeah.
Like, so you need something to spice it up. Like, and there's no stipulation on any match actually on this card. Actually, they're all just single. It's a single freeway tag. Like, there's no no DQs. There's no like steel cages, ladders, whatever. Like, there's nothing like that going on. So this is a very plain main event. That I think will not fall flat because Ilya's a good wrestler. I think it'll be okay at best. And afterwards, I would really like to see Tony and the family like take out Ilya because Tony loses, and then after that, after Ilya's getting up to his feet again, play that fucking Priest music, and then have that cash in there, and then I can see it happen. The more I'm saying it, the more I'm picturing it. Like,
yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I can definitely. There is a possibility of that happening. I think. Yeah, I like that. I think it could be. Like I said, I can't imagine Priest with either the WWE Universal, whatever it's called now, the WWE title or the World Heavyweight title. I can't picture that. The NXT title, on the other hand, I can.
Yeah.
So I think, that main event doesn't feel like a main event.
Mm-hmm. It's weird, but yeah, it's where we are, and that is our breakdown for NXT Stand and Deliver. Next week's show will have a bit longer of a review because it'll be NXT, the last go home show, and also Stand and Deliver, which will be very awkward to record because it's on, I believe, Saturday or is it Friday? It's on
Saturday about 7, I think.
Oh, okay, so WrestleMania starts the same day on Saturday as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to either watch that live, NXT, or watch it at some point late on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of wrestling on next weekend.
There is, yeah. Especially on the indie scene, there's so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got like 8 shows to watch over the weekend.
Yeah, I've got about
It's
10, I think.
oh,
Yeah, something like that.
oh, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a horrible week of just watching wrestling.
Ah, Netflix only once a year.
Absolutely true. But let's end things here. Of course, this is the end of the show. I've been Dan DePreezy. This has been Mr. Impact Craig. If you're also inclined, please give us a follow on our social medias. Craig's is beneath him just there on Twitter, and mine is also on Twitter at DePreezy. Also, please give the channel follow on the following platforms underneath me here, which are our Instagram, our Facebook, our X, and our Twitch. And also with the video itself, please give a like, subscribe to the channel. It all helps us towards our goals. We're currently on like 320 subscribers, which is insane. Like, it's honestly like we celebrated like 200 like maybe 2 weeks ago, and we're already on like over 300 now, which is insane to say. But honestly, thank you to everyone who does do that and subscribes and comments on the videos and stuff like that. It helps us towards our goals, and also with our this crowd engagement. It's great to get your guys' opinions on things. Hell, if you think I'm wrong with my predictions, let me know. If you think Craig's wrong, let him know that the OC is the worst team going. If you think Cody's going to lose title at WrestleMania to Priest, if you think Priest's not going to cash in, like, again, just let us know. Because it's always great to get other opinions on this sort of stuff. But yeah, as I said, I've been Dan, this has been Craig, and that is the end of the show. Have a good day.